Hello, my lovely people. How is everyone doing today? Of course, the phone is going to ring the minute that I start, which is just hilarious. I'm just going to give it a few seconds until some people pop in. So we're really looking forward to this class today. I tried this card a few years ago, really enjoyed doing it, and I thought I really want to share this with you again and kind of keep this theme of bringing back the old. Hi, Dana. Hi, Linda. So this is, I don't know if you want to say it American or Canadian. It's either a Spanner card or a Spainer card. I'm not exactly sure which the pronunciation is, but I'm going to go with what I'm saying. Sorry, Gary's just on the phone. So this is just an A2 card, regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And what happens is when you lift this, the top piece opens and there's a little bridge of acetate that keeps the two legs together. I'm off. You're off? What do you mean off? You guys can hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if everyone can hear me.
What was it? 0126 and your CCV code.
Okay, so everyone can hear me. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean, Dana. Awesome. So then we have this other little piece that we have cut out of the front of the card. And this is just another little accent to show you, just to give something different to a card, right? And then we have a beautiful sentiment on the inside. And this is a super, super easy card to do. Again, it is just an A2 card with an extra couple cuts, and you're just going to make an extra wow on when you show this card to somebody, okay? So this is the card that we're going to recreate, and I'm going to be gifting this one, okay? So make sure that you like the video, leave a comment, and you will be entered in to win the draw.
And I'm going to put you in right now.
And then tomorrow I will draw a name and we will ship this to you. Okay. And then I have another one. I'm just going to wait till Gary gets off the phone for a second just because there's a lot of background noise. So we'll just let you look at this for a sec. It does sit nice, just like a regular A2 card. Awesome. So everyone can hear me. Thanks, people. I appreciate being able to know that you guys can hear me and that everything is good. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Rose. I'm so sorry you're under the weather, Rose. I hope that you start to feel better. Hi, Beth. Nice. You stay safe down there, please. So many people have COVID, and I'm just worried about anyone that's gone south. So I made another card because this one is quite pretty and feminine, and it's just a beautiful card. But I wanted to show some versatility. So I created this one today using Heartfelt Creations Happy Camper paper. And I just wanted to show you that you can do something super pretty like this one on the left that we're going to recreate. Hi, Angie. Or you can do something a little bit more masculine with Father's Day coming and Easter coming. So it is the same card. It's still a Spainer/Spanner card. It has these cute little legs that are held together with an acetate bridge. And then your inside flap lifts up, and then we have a cute little sentiment on the inside. Okay, so you can make it very girly, you can make it very masculine. The acetate is only 1.25 inches high, so the rest of the card is open and like you can actually touch the card. It's just this spot here, and you can actually go ahead and you could fill this whole section with acetate. I just don't know why you would want to waste it, but it is an option, and please feel free to do that. I always hope that after I do these cards that you guys will recreate and share with us. I know a lot of you have been sharing. So yeah, So those are the cards that we're going to do today. We're going to do this one, recreate this one. We're using P13 paper. Before I get started though, I just wanted to let everyone know that we just sent out an email concerning the crop. The crop is going to be on May 28th of this year, God willing. And it is at the New Lowell Legion in New Lowell, which is probably 8 kilometers from here. We do have some spots available, so if you are interested in attending the crop, please send me an email or a message or however we get in touch with each other. If you have already paid for the crop that was supposed to happen in May 2020, if you've already paid, your spot's guaranteed, you're good to go. The only thing is I'd like for you just to send me back a confirmation to the email that we sent out today, just to reply back and say, yes, you are coming. We need to get the Legion the amount of numbers for food and that kind of thing. So if you could be so kind to do that, I would appreciate it. So do know that there are some spots available. It is May 28th. It starts at 9 in the morning till 9 at night. We take probably 3/4 of the store with us. We have door prizes. We have our prize wheel. We have a candy table, popcorn machine. The Legion puts on the most amazing lunch and supper. All of this is guaranteed in your price. Okay, so please send me an email, message me, get in touch with me, because the spots are going to fill up really quickly and I don't want to have to say no to anybody. I know, Rose, first off, I'm heartbroken that you moved, okay? I'm just going to say that and get that out. Second, I'm upset that you're sick all the time ever since you moved away, and that you need to come back here and you need to start coming to our classes and our crops because I miss you terribly. Done my rant. Okay. So what we are going to, she's laughing. I'm going to show you what I used and then we're going to get started with this card, okay? So obviously I'm using Pink Fresh Silver Bling. What are you hosting? I missed the beginning. Jen, I sent out an email today. We are going to be having our crop on May 28th. In New Lowell, and we do have spots available. So if you're interested, please send me an email and I can send you all the information, the price, all that stuff. Okay. So we're going to use Pink Fresh Silver Bling. This is my new favorite. You guys know I love silver or white gold, my favorite in the world. So I've got a bunch of it on order because I had to open the last pack. So we're going to use some Pink Fresh Bling. We're going to use my favorite glue in the world, which is Art Glitter Dries Clear. We are going to need a bone folder, scoring tool, tweezers. I am going to be inking my pattern paper in Memento London Fog. So we need to have a blending tool as well as our sponge. Okay, so this is going to be what I'm using to ink my edges. I used Hero Arts Intense Black for my stamping because it is just my favorite black. Hi, Eleanor. For the border punch, for my sentiment, you can actually use any border punch that you have. This is an old Martha Stewart one, and it's one of my favorites, and if I ever break it, I'll probably cry. So I use it a lot, so I really like this one. Now, I am also going to be using the stamp set from this set of Stamp and Dies from the Gemini Crafter's Companion. This one is called You've Been on My Mind. It's on back order, and I do have a lot of people that have requested it, but I do have it on order and it is coming. So I'm just using the sentiment, and I'm using Sending So Much Love and just a little note. And it's just the cutest little stamp set. So that's the stamp set that we're using. Now, for my paper, I am using P13. So you guys saw this paper when I was showing the layout that I did for Gary. And this is leftover paper that I've had from this, and we do still have it in the store. But this is my main piece of paper that I'm using on my front tag, and I'm going to be cutting out a section here and then doing some fussy cutting as well. This is going to be my coordinating paper, and the B side of this, I'm going to be using this here, and we're going to fussy cut this part out. But isn't this paper gorgeous and so pretty? And then for my card base, I'm using Marshmallow, and this is a heavier weight smooth card. So this is the Marshmallow. And then, of course, for my black, I'm using Blackbird. It's my favorite black. So with the P13, this collection, Let Your Creativity Bloom, there's a lot of pieces in here, and I do have them in the store. These are my leftover remnants from the projects I've been doing. But there's decorative tags, there's the ephemera tickets, there's the ephemera bits and pieces. And trust me, I'm going to be cutting all of this stuff out. I let nothing go to waste. If I do not use this actual little pouch, I will be cutting things apart. Okay? Yes, Jen, absolutely, I will do that. And then, of course, the sticker sheet. These are the chipboard stickers. And then I have just some leftover pieces of paper. So I'm using my scraps to make this card. The other thing I'm using from Dress My Craft is the acetate sheets. Now, this is the second time that I've used this acetate, and I'm going to tell you I'm in love with it. It's 8.5 by 11. You get 10 sheets in the pack. It comes in 3 different weights. This is 100 microns, which I've tried to convert on my unit thing today, and it didn't work. I don't know. They're in India, so I'm not sure why they're using a micron for a measurement. But the closest I could get is the thickness would be 1 centimeter. And I'm not even sure that that's real, so don't even hold me to that. But they have 3 different thicknesses. This is the lightest one that they have at 100. Then they have 175, and then they have 200. So I do have the other sizes on order just to see how thick they are. So once they come in, I will let you guys know. Of course, we're going to be using my Dress My Craft trimmer, okay? So I'm just going to clear some stuff out of the way. So you will need a trimmer. If you don't have an all-in-one, you're definitely going to need your scoreboard, that kind of thing, because we are going to be scoring our card and doing all the things with this, okay? So let me just get my stuff out of the way. Now I have gone ahead. Oh, and don't forget, you always have to have your dry baby wipe. You know, in my classes, always have a dry baby wipe. This is going to take all the excess glue, if you get it anywhere, on your paper, okay? So I have gone ahead and I have cut some of our goodies ahead of time so that you guys aren't just watching me do this. So our card base, we are going to be cutting a card base that is 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, so 5.5 by 8.5. And we're going to score this at 4 1/4. So as you know, my trimmer has the orange for the cut, and it has the beige color blade for scoring. So I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. So let me just see if I'm even in view here. So there's my 4 1/4. Okay, make sure you have the right one. Do a nice little score. Now, it's a little hard for you guys to see, but it is there, I promise you. Okay, so when we fold over, never just assume that this is exactly right, because as you can see, it's off. So always take the extra time to be sure that your edges have lined up and that you have your bone folder handy so that you can finish creasing. And I'm using a heavy cardstock, so you have to do a little bit more creasing on this than probably normal, because this card is movable and mechanical. And whenever you do a movable mechanical card, you always want to use at least 100 pound, if not 110. I'm using 110. So make sure that the card is going to be strong enough to hold up the actual card. So you may have to step up and go to another weight. Okay, so I'm just going to crease nice. And then what I'm going to do, now this depends if you have your trimmer that does all this at once, or if you have to do this separately, whatever is good for you. All I'm going to do, we want to make, I'm going to call these little legs, okay? So anytime today you hear me referring to legs, I mean these pieces right here. So we need to cut these legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure over from the left 1¼ inch, and we're going to slice from the crease fold down to the bottom. And then we're going to do the same on the right side. Okay, so Gary, if you want to come over and just zoom down a bit, I'm going to get my 1½. Okay, so I want to zoom down because, as I've said in the last class, this tool is awesome that it has these little lines on the side. And so all I have to do is guarantee that these little lines are right at my 4¼ because that's where my score is. Can you go down any further? A little further? Just so that they can really see what's happening. So as long as we have this little notch on the side at 4¼ then what we're going to do is we're just going to cut down. And now you can see that I've cut this at the fold line. Okay. So easy peasy. Now you can also turn it over if you want to stay in the same location because right and left is exactly the same for this measurement. And then what you can do with your blade already down here, you can just score, you can cut up to the score line at 4¼ and once you have this lifted off, now you have your card base. Okay, so now you have your 3 flaps on the top. Okay, so now I'll get you to zoom back out. Zoom back out, please. Okay, so now I always like, because I'm using this heavyweight cardstock, I'm always creasing because I do find that because it's so thick, if you don't really give a good burnish, it does get a little floppy. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I have gone ahead and I have cut my acetate at 1¼ by 5½. And the thing that I like about the Dress My Craft, I'm just trying to find a darker color here. The Dress My Craft is they have a little piece of paper, tissue paper type thing underneath the acetate that you're seeing here that is white. So when you cut it, you can actually leave that piece on the back and then it helps you to see where it is on your trimmer. So that is something that I find very useful. I just laid the 8½ by 11 sheet. I cut it at 1¼ turned it, cut it at 5½, and it's the perfect measurement. Okay. So what we're going to do, and again, because this is going to be mechanical and we're going to want to have a little bit of weight on here. I just got to grab my bone folder here. We're going to use some score tape just here. And so what we're going to do, we're just going to find the end of this score tape roll here. Come on. Now, what I like to do is, I know that my piece of acetate is going to be 1½ inches. So I'm just going to put a little piece of score tape on the top side. And just rip it off with my bone folder. I'm going to put another piece down here. And then because I'm super anal, I'm going to go another little piece on this side. And I'm doing this just because I want to be sure that the acetate is stable and that the card isn't going to be flipping and flopping around. I want it to flip and flop, but I want it to flip and flop where I want it. So we're just going to do this on here. And I definitely think score tape is the better way to go than Dries Clear. And then we're always going to do a really nice burnish because we really want to make sure that that tape is down. And then with my picking tool, I'm just going to pick off the back of my tape. Sorry, our camera's going in and out for some reason. All right, so now with my acetate, there's no right or wrong side of your acetate. You're just going to remove the tissue paper. I'll give that to you because it's sticking to me. I'm also going to put something dark underneath. So I'm just going to line up all of my edges, and it is nice and sticky. Now you want to make sure that you're perfectly on all your edges. Okay, and I know it's a little awkward to see because we're dealing with acetate as well as white cardstock. Now you notice I didn't take off my other side yet, and there's a reason for that, because I need to know that where I'm putting this is going to be correct. And so I don't want, you know, it to be off, and I can tell that I'm off on this a little bit. So I'm just gonna pull this back just a little bit. We're going to be covering this section anyway, so we're going to be good. And then I'm just going to peel off my other side, get into view here. So this is always my thing with these classes, is I want you guys to see all the details, but then I'm never 100% sure, am I too close? That kind of thing. So if you have any constructive feedback, I would definitely love to hear it. Now, when you're putting the acetate down, you want to make sure that you don't stretch the acetate. You want it to lay in its natural form, okay? And I did stretch it a little bit on this card by accident, and you can see this waffle in here, and there's nothing I can do about it because I didn't notice it until after the card was made. So when you're laying down your acetate, be sure that it just lays in its natural state, okay? So there we have our bridge on the front of our card. And now we're just basically going to be assembling. So for each of these legs, we're going to have a black cardstock as well as pattern paper on both sides. Okay, so my matting cardstock, which is my black, I have cut it at 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. Okay. My pattern paper, it has been cut at 1 inch by 4, because I always like to have that little bit of extra around. So I'm just going to take a moment and just ink my edges of my pattern paper. When you're working with inking edges, because I know some people do and some people don't, always try to find a complementary color that will go with your cardstock or your pattern paper, whatever that you're doing. I traditionally do not ink white cardstock with any kind of a brown. I find it makes it look like, you know, baby poop, for lack of a better way to say that. So now we're just going to lay these down, and I'm just going to use my Dries Clear, just a nice little bead all the way around. And then we're just going to lay this down and center this as best we can, okay? And this card is so simple. Hi, Phyllis, not a problem. You can always rewatch the beginning. I sent out emails today concerning the crop. I know you're coming. Just make sure we've got the right side of the cardstock, okay? So we get this laid down. Like this, I made this card in literally no time. It was super easy. It was not a difficult card because all it is just a standard A2 card. And then we're just going to center our decorative paper on our little legs. Be sure to use your dry baby wipe so that you know that all the excess glue has come off. Okay, so then we're just going to put this side down. I have been actually really enjoying my last couple days back to work. So there we have the front of our legs done. And then now when this opens, I don't like being able to see my score tape underneath here. Now, yes, I could have used vellum tape and that would have helped. I know it's hard for you guys to see, but you can see where the vellum, or sorry, where the score tape is. So what I opted to do was I cut 2 more black pieces that I'm just going to glue down to help cover that. I don't think that anybody receiving this card would really notice or say anything. If they said anything, I'd take it from them, but and it's totally up to you. I'm always going to do that extra little thing. If you don't feel you want to do it, then you don't have to do it. It does not have to be dressed underneath here. And the Dries Clear does stick really well to the acetate. So once it's dry, it is not going to move. Okay, so that is going to be the front side of our legs, and this is the inside of our legs. Now for our panel, I had to fudge a little bit with my pattern piece of paper to get exactly what I wanted in my print. Now, if you're using a different pattern paper, this one, if you remember, is very white with just the top and bottom corners with a print. So I didn't want to waste everything, so I just kind of fudged where I wanted my floral to be. So I like to mat everything because I just find that this just makes, you know, anything that I do just brings it to the next level. So I'm going to mat my printed piece, and it is cut at 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. My pattern paper is cut at 2 3/4 by 4. Okay, so it's just a little smaller so that you're going to be able to see the black all the way around. And then we're just going to lay this down. I always work from the side. I just seem to be able to see all 3 sides better if I do so. There we go. And then all we're going to do, again, we're just going to lay this on the inside here. This is such an easy card. I really hope you guys try to do this. You don't have to be a master card maker. I'm just going to bend these back so I can get this in here and get this on as best I can. I stand normally when I create, so sitting is, I don't always get the best view. So now this is the front of our card. How beautiful is this? Like, it's just so pretty all on its own. So now when that special person opens it, they get something pretty. If you wanted, you could do as well. You can do some florals, you could do some stitching, you could do all kinds of things. So on the inside, I'm going to skip into the inside and dress the inside part of this. So I have mat the inside, and it is 5 and 3. So again, we want to try to pay attention to how straight we are. We want things to be looking as best as we can so that all of our lines are lining up, you know, everywhere. I don't go too close to my score line because I want to be sure that it's going to fold and be flat. And then my inside piece, it has been cut 5 1/4 by 3 7/8. So 3 7/8. And I'm just going to ink my edges because, again, that's me. That's my thing. I don't like the white core showing. All right, and now we're just going to plunk this down on top. I hate covering up all this beautiful imagery on the back. P13 has a lot of new collections coming out that are so beautiful. I can't wait, and I'll be taking a class with them in May. And we're making something absolutely amazing that I'm not allowed to tell you about, but it is awesome. Now, for my sentiment panel, when you're doing this, you want, like, you could make it the whole length if you wanted. I like having my pattern paper show underneath. The key thing to this is you want to make sure that it is no bigger than the flap that is going to sit in front of it. You don't want it to be out here because that doesn't look good, right? So we want to make sure that it's going to sit in between here and that it's centered between top and bottom. And when we close this, you don't see it. So my piece on the inside has been cut 2 7/8 by 3 5/8. And I have just stamped it with a little sentiment, just a little note. And I am going to ink the edge of this, but I'm going to be very light with my gray on white because it does tend to look dirty. And this marshmallow cardstock, it is not a true white. It is a little bit more gray than it is white. So I'm just going to put my adhesive on, and we're just going to keep an eye of where we have this sat. Plunk it down, commit. Be sure that when you close it, you can't see underneath it. Isn't that cute? Such a cute little card. So now what we want to do is we want to go back to the front because we want to have a sentiment. So I have a sentiment that says sending so much love. I used my punch on a piece of black cardstock and I've cut it to the size that I want. And my sentiment is 2 7/8 by approximately 1/2 inch. And then this is approximately 1 by 2 7/8. So I'm just going to lightly ink the edges of my sentiment tag. And then I'm going to adhere it down on top of my black trim. And make sure you cut yourself like a piece of your trim. Don't just, you know, cut a little piece. Like I have extra, just in case it's not in the right place or something like that. So we're just going to lay this straight down. My video has paused. It's going to resume shortly, so please, when you watch the replay, it will not be interrupted, okay? So when you're laying this down, you want to, the way that I've done this is I've cut it so that it matches the black mat on my card. So it's the exact, it's not the size of the actual flap, it's the size of the black mat on the inside. And then what you want to do is you want to be sure that it is going to sit just underneath the acetate. So you know that you've got 1 1/4 inches. So all you have to do is just kind of play and know that where you're going to set it down, it's going to sit underneath the acetate. So I'm just going to bring it just a little bit above the paper line. Okay. Press it down, and now when I close my flap, my acetate is actually probably about 1/4 inch above my tag. And again, I know it's a little hard for you guys to see clear on white, but isn't that such a pretty little card? Now on the inside, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put my pin back in. I don't have the exact same little bunch that I did with my original card because I was using scraps. So I'm just going to fussy cut quickly around this floral banner. I'm going to cut it larger than I probably want, but I just want to, you know, be sure of where I want it and what pieces I might want to cut off. I don't want to be premature and cut it in the wrong place. Thanks, guys. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? So lots of fun ways to do these cards. Again, very masculine. You can do a bunch of different ways. It's super easy. It's not very complicated. You don't have to be a master card maker if there is such a thing. I don't know if there is, but I'm just going to fussy cut around here. I know this is way too big, but the thing is, when you're doing a large print like this, you want to cut all of it as if you're going to use it all, because you may want to layer. You may want to have a little bit popped up, a little bit tucked under, and you don't want to have wrecked it and not been able to use all of it. So I'm just going to finish this quickly here. Aw, thanks, Jackie. I have something else to show at the end of this. I was creating today as well, and I taught myself how to make a different card that I was hoping, if you guys liked as much as I do, I will do for next week. All right, so we're just going to move all my bits out of here. So we have the option of putting this on the top. We have the option of putting it on the side, down at the bottom. I kind of like the whole side thing myself. So I'm just going to take a little mental note of where this is going to go, and I'm going to pretend that that isn't so square. And now I'm just going to kind of play and figure out where I think I would want it. And you can pretend, even if that leaf isn't exactly where you want it, you can pretend that there's a leaf there just by angling. So now we can just set this on here. We can also still go across the top. We could go down the side. So I've left myself a lot of options by cutting the whole length of my piece. And then if I wanted, I could go back in and I could do some layering underneath. I could pop up, I could do some layering, I could do all kinds of things with these little leftover pieces. And for those of you that love ephemera like I do, we like to layer, we like the shabby look, we like to do all those things. I'm gonna ink the edges on this. And remember, when I glue stuff down, I never glue it like it's gonna stay for eternity, because I want things to look like they're moving and floating, and I will bend my paper. I'll do the things to make it kind of look real. Now, the one thing, and it's a visual thing, if you don't like seeing a raw edge, so if I brought this down here and you see that ugly corner there, if you don't mind that, that's okay. Me, I don't like it. So I want to make sure that I have enough past my tag on both sides so that none of these awful little corners are going to happen. And yet there's still enough room in here for me to do a sentiment. I could turn it this way and have my bling go, or my edges going out this way, which I think I like this other way better. So just kind of fuss and fiddle first before you commit. And know that, you know, you can always move things around. So I'm going to make sure that my edges are covered. Things are as straight as they're going to be. Glue that down. And now we have a super beautiful card. But it's not done because you know me, I need to add bling to just about everything. So I am going to empty some of these into a tray because I want the smallest ones, and for some reason they're very elusive. So I'm going, in these packages, you get a large bling, you get a medium bling, if I can get it in here, and then you get these little ones that are down here. So there's 3 different sizes of these, and I like to use different sizes on my cards and my projects. I don't want everything to be exactly the same. So, and also whenever I'm using bling, I like to place ahead of time where I'm going to put things because, you know, it's my right. I might want to change my mind. So I think I'm going to do something like this on mine, on the front. And I'm going to just use my tweezers, hold my little bling in spot, glue this down. You don't need a lot of glue when you're doing these. This dries clear, will hold metal, will hold wood. This little bead is wanting to get away from me. So there we go. And remember to wiggle it in the spot that you're going to put it, and it just causes a little bit of a suction. And then I'm just going to put 2 little dots on either side of my sentiment. And if you end up squeezing a little bit too much of your glue out, don't worry, it's going to dry clear and you will never see it. Okay. And then of course we wanted to have a little bit on the inside. So I think I'm gonna, on this one, take a smaller, maybe the medium one, and just put it on the center of this flower here. And then you could put some Wink Castella, some clear overlay, a glitter pen. You could very easily sparkle this all up and do all of the things. Awesome. So isn't this a pretty card? So this is what we're going to be gifting to a lucky lady tomorrow at end of close. Hi, Rod. How are you? Yeah, so this is a Spainer card. Cute little legs on here if you're a leg guy or a girl. Pretty little tag in the top. Nice little sentiment. You could also do something on the inside flap. You could put a photo in here. If you were doing this as a Christmas card, which I was thinking I might do, this would be really cool to have your family photo on the underside and then have your Christmas theme all everywhere else. And this is just held together with this little bridge, acetate bridge, that keeps these two together. And it stands perfectly fine. And you can make it more masculine for Father's Day, for Easter. You can do all kinds of fun, funky things with this. It's just a different way to make an A2 card. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Isn't it sweet? So I hope that you guys will try to create one of these. And this is my original in my left hand. This is the next one in the right hand that we're going to be gifting. Actually, there's another flower in here, so I think we need to put another piece of bling there because it's got an empty spot. So let's put one up here. We still have our odd number of 5, so that's good. So now we added an extra little bling. Isn't that pretty? So the other card that I taught myself how to do today, I've been kind of looking at it for a long time. This paper, Kim, is from Heartfelt Creations. It is their Happy Camper. I do not believe I have any. This was a scrap piece that I had. And it has been discontinued for this one. But it is nice. There's also a blue truck. It's actually kind of this turquoisey blue. And it's pulling the little camper, which I just fussy cut and popped up on the inside. So you can definitely do all kinds of different themes. You could do clocks and watches and Easter with bunnies. You could have bunnies going across the acetate. You could, oh my gosh, you could have balloons going up the sides. It's endless what you can do with this. So the other card that I was thinking about doing for next week is a pleated card. So it is just a fun way to pleat pattern paper and create a pretty card. So this is what I was thinking for next week. If it's something that you guys would like to see, let me know. It's just, again, it's a piece of paper, 5 by 10. We're going to do some scoring. We're going to do some fancy folding. And next thing you know, you have a beautiful card. And I had made one originally and it did not turn out right. It was folded wrong, but you know me, I'm not going to waste anything. So I undid all of it and refolded it the way that it's supposed to and created this card. So there's a couple little things that are off, but I don't care. I'm not going to waste the paper and the effort that went into making it. So, but this is kind of the style that I would like to do next week. So if you like the pleated card, that would be great. You could also do a half a pleat. So it would just be this up here and just have it at the bottom. So if you were doing a wedding, you could make the top look like a body of a figurine and then have this as the skirt. There's a million ways to do pleated cards. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, I think that's what we'll do for next week. Yeah. So I'm just going to say again, for those that have joined late, we do have spots available for our crop on May 28th. Do give me an email, message, however we correspond. I can send you the details, the price, all of that. It is May 28th from 9 in the morning till 9 at night. The cost of the crop includes your lunch, your supper, candy table, popcorn machine, spin to win, our prize wheel. We have a huge door prize. We have other prizes through the day. It's going to be a good day. We take 80% of the store with us. So you're going to be able to shop. You're going to be able to just sit and craft and let us know what you need. We're going to be there to take care of you guys and ensure that we have a fun time. So, yeah, I'm going to go. Yes to the pleated card. Awesome. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to do next week, whether it be purple or another pattern paper, I don't know, but we'll see you, okay? So you guys have a lovely evening. Thank you for spending some time with me and making this card. I do hope that you guys will try it and create and share on our creative space so that we can see the projects that you're making and have fun with this. So take care, guys.